espero que nadie se ofenda, pero hasta que no estás aquí dentro no sabes la grandeza de este equipo.
Só nós sentimos assim. Por muitos desgostos que possamos ter, valores mais altos se levantam. O valor mais alto que se levanta em termos futebolísticos chama-se Benfica.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 28 of We'll Continue Benfica's the podcast. Today we got myself, we got Paul supporting the Sporting side of the derby. Welcome, Paul. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good.
You looking
What's
forward to this?
going on over there?
I don't want people to see me swearing. Today is going to be a day. It was never me.
Yeah, it was never you. And we got Oscar. Jay and Kenny couldn't make it, but it's like the footy gods set this up perfectly because Oscar, for those of you that don't know, Oscar likes to chat a lot, and this is a good opportunity for Paul to set the stage and see what he brings to the table. So it should be interesting. Given the fact that we have a lot to talk about for tomorrow, just touch quickly on the Belenenses game that we had on Thursday. No one got the prediction right. 3-0. We're on to the semifinal against Estoril. And now we look ahead to tomorrow's game against Sporting at José Alvalade Stadium. Paul came prepared, as you guys can see. I mean, he's decked out, full gear, backdrop.
I wear this every day.
Oscar went and made 7 trips around his room to find more Benfica stuff. He felt awkward. He felt left out. Oh, you got an espresso cup. There we go. Paul, I can see in the stream you got some supporters. I see your mom's on there, Sergio's on there, Jonathan's on there. So you got plenty of people to back you up. So you see how it gets interesting here. For those of you watching, share your thoughts in the chat. Add your comments. Give us your opinion. It sure will be interesting. Tomorrow.
So no Water Street jokes?
No. Tomorrow we got a game. Oh, here we go. We already got one. Finally a real fan on the podcast. I invited Jonathan. He didn't respond to my message. So
Of course he wouldn't. Of course he wouldn't come here.
Well, you already have Benfiquistas running away. You two got scared away from today already. The Defont brothers.
So let's look at this here. So we got Benfica tomorrow. Travels to Sporting. Looking back, all the way back to the 1999-2000 game or season, all the way till today, in the league, Sporting has lost 9 times at home, won 5 times, and drawn 7 in the league against Benfica at home. Which I was actually really surprised by those numbers. I'm not going to lie. It's 21 games for the league. In terms of head-to-head. You can't really compare it, right? JJ's been around longer. Ruben Amorim just started coaching. Ruben against Benfica, he beat us last year with Braga. Ironically, Palhinha scored at home against Benfica to beat us 1-0. And then he lost last year at the end of the season with Sporting at the start to lose 2-1. And Nelson Verissimo was our coach at the time. JJ, pretty good numbers against Sporting. He's got 15 games against Sporting with Benfica, 10 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss, which I think pretty impressive numbers. Let's get into the game. I guess let me start first. Paul, what do you think? I guess obviously your confidence levels are high going into this game. You guys are in first place, 6-point gap. I guess paint us a picture here of how you've seen Sporting this year in comparison to years past, right? Ruben Amorim was there last year for half the season. But to you, what feels different, right? There's still youth in the squad. You guys are ahead, but in general, like, how would you describe what you've seen this year from the team?
Well, we're winning. That's definitely a change.
Yeah.
But so I just feel like I think it's just a bunch of kids that are trying harder than everyone else in the league. Like, you guys have brought this up plenty of times where you think it's not feasible for kids to keep playing, but Sporting only has the league now to worry about. So literally they can focus 100% on the league. Oscar's little cliff diving thing that he's been saying, Sporting's actually further ahead of Benfica now than they were all season. So literally that
COVID.
You can blame COVID all you want. We had COVID too. Like,
yeah.
You guys have all these conspiracy theories about Benfica. Everyone's like against Benfica, but when someone says one that has like to do with Benfica, it's like not true anymore. Like, I'll perfect example. You guys have blamed Porto for giving you guys COVID. You guys have blamed teams for not wanting to cancel games. And then last week, someone brought up that Ruben Amorim, being a Benfiquista, puts Pelinha into a game that literally had no reason to be in there for 10 minutes.
That's
a yellow.
Conspiracy?
My point is what's the difference between that one and all the ones that you guys say?
Wait, is Ruben Amorim trying to lose this game?
No, but first of all, did you watch the game? It was not even close to a yellow. The guy barely touches the
ball.
Right.
And there was no yellows in the whole game. And then the guy does one foul and he gets a yellow. It's
I don't know why he put him in either, which is odd.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
20 minutes
we were up
left.
1-0. It wasn't even 20, and we were up 1-0. Literally did nothing to the game.
1-0 is not a good result.
Still, Bobista wasn't really doing much.
Yeah, they sucked.
Yeah, it could have been one. It could have been one shot, and they tied the game.
Yeah. The thing is he's our only Trinco. We don't have another one. So he was probably the most. Him and Coates probably the two guys that you didn't want to get to yellow in that game. Coates being the captain and he's in charge of the back line essentially. And then Pelinha is the reason why we don't concede so many goals is how good he's been as a Trinco, and we don't have another one. So it's a huge swing right there. Not having.
Wait, are you worried about our midfield?
No, I'm not. Benfica sucks. Let's be honest.
Okay, you guys have nothing to worry about.
So Boavista has one win in the league, and it's against you guys. So you guys can pull a win out of your ass.
No, they got two. They won yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you can pull a win out of your ass too. You guys are clearly you guys played good against Belenenses. It's true, but after that, you guys really don't look like scary. When you go against Benfica before, it'd be like, oh, I'm worried about this guy because they score so many goals. It's like you guys build up plays really nice in the midfield. You hit the 18, and then it's like you guys forget how to play soccer. It's how it is.
What?
It's true.
This is a situation, Paul. Let's get this straight. I was scared. Like when we had Jay on the pod, I'm like, and this is where I come from. Like I'm not trying to be biased or Sporting this, Sporting that. I was scared to face Porto for a reason, because I look at the history, I look at the recent history, and Porto has our number, right? Like, and I admit that kind of shit, right? It could be, how in derbies or clásicos, it doesn't matter who's playing better, who's worse. It's usually like that. So a lot of times the worst team beats the team playing better. A lot of times.
Another conspiracy there for you on the screen.
Yeah,
it's the ref.
Why I feel confident is just like I didn't feel confident against Porto. Is because our history speaks for itself against you guys. We could be playing a horrible season. With Rui Vitória, we're having a horrible season. We beat you guys. With Bruno Lage, we're playing bad, and we beat you guys. The last 6 games, check them out.
No, the last time Sporting was like at this caliber, playing like they are now, was when like Adrian Silva was on there, João Mario, when we literally lost the league to one game against you guys, and then we both went out the season. You guys won by 2 points.
Yeah, and who was your coach then?
I think it was Paulo Bento at the time.
Was it
JJ?
It was Jesus.
It was JJ.
It was Jesus. It was Jesus.
And we had
Brian Ruiz missed. Brian Ruiz missed that sitter.
Yes,
it was. And then I believe it was Jardel. He scored like the 1-0 game against us.
And then he scored.
And then you guys won out. We both won out. It was like 7 games left.
Yeah. So, but what I'm trying to say here, our history speaks for itself. That's why I'm feeling.
But it's history. Like I get that, but it's still so. You guys haven't beat any one of the big teams yet, right? Your record against Braga and Porto is 0-1-3, right?
Okay.
Sporting is against Porto and Braga is 3 wins, 1 tie, and 0 losses so far.
So you're considering Braga top 3?
No, I'm just saying against those. Well, they're top 4, right? It's the big 3 and then them. You guys can't beat Porto or Braga at all this season. What makes you can beat Sporting? I'll tell you now. Pelinha missing is huge. It's going to be
is that going to be your excuse tomorrow night?
It's not an excuse because we're going to win.
Okay, so you're confident. You're confident.
You guys, how many excuses?
Look!
Listen,
How many players? You want to check the players we're missing until today that just came back today?
Yeah. So listen, I don't listen to every podcast, but every time I come on here, it's like 9 million excuses for you guys because of how bad you suck.
No, I say I suck all the time.
Yeah, and then you have because your back line has COVID, even though it's someone else's fault, it's not your guys' fault. Then it's Gilberto, whatever, he sucks, and then he has a good game, he's your best player. That's how it's back and forth all the time.
No, so hold on before we go off on a tangent. I want to reel it back in here. So we talk about Pelinha, right? I agree with Paul, right? I think he's the only one that has those type of characteristics in Sporting's team. They played with a different setup against Boavista, but in terms of recovering the ball, in terms of cutting off passing lanes, I don't think Sporting has anyone like him. Doesn't mean that they can't adapt their system to make it work. How big of an impact do you think that's going to be for you, Paul, in terms of the way you guys defend? Do you think it's going to impact you more defending going forward? I think that Ruben Amorim said today in his press conference that not only does he help you guys defending, but in your build-up from the back, he's also a key figure to that. How big of an impact do you think that's going to be for you guys?
I think so. It will definitely be a big impact because he really has been like – no one really talks about Pelinha because he's a Trinco. Trincos don't really get much attention unless they're like those nasty. Like William Carvalho was the guy that we had, and then after him, really no one came, and now he was like the new one that came in that actually can play Trinco. He's going to end up putting Mateus Nunes in there again, like he did against Braga in the final. João Mario probably have to play more of a defensive player because the other guy isn't that great at defending either. But it's going to affect us in both parts of the game. Defending, it's going to hurt our back line because I think you guys have a lot of speed, and our three in the back are not fast. We have the wing, the guys in the wing that are quick, but like a counterattack, Pelinha was good at like destroying those before they got bad. We don't have that guy to do that now, so that's my biggest fear against Benfica is like a counter or like a fast break play where our center back just gets smoked.
Okay, Oscar. Before I ask your opinion, Dave Pereira on Twitter, he's a Braga fan. Paul, this is for you. Sporting's gotten results versus the top clubs, but do you feel they've outplayed any of them? What are your thoughts on that?
Outplayed. So the first win against Braga, they outplayed us for sure. The second game, they didn't outplay us. The final, they didn't outplay us. We played the same.
It was a shitty game anyways.
Yeah, the field was soaked. We didn't get outplayed that game. And Porto, the first game was a completely different team too. We got rid of guys after that game. But it was 2-2. I don't think we were outplayed the first game either. Porto didn't outplay Sporting either game, I don't think. The only game that we absolutely got outplayed and got lucky to get the result was the first game against Braga. The rest, it's like a wash.
I can agree with that.
In Braga against Benfica, we had another 10 minutes in that game. We would probably win.
Yeah, but you guys don't know how to stop conceding goals.
We didn't know. Now we got to figure it out a little bit.
Oscar, what are your thoughts on Pelinha missing in the game?
Look, it's almost like you're saying Pelinha missing in Sporting is a big thing, right? I don't look at it like that anymore. I used to, when Benfica was at the level Sporting is now, which is when they was mediocre. I used to look at Benfica and be like, shit, when Aymar is missing, Benfica sucks. Oh shit, when Javi Garcia is missing, Benfica sucks. Dude, you have to adapt to your big club, right? If you're a big club, you think you're a big club.
We just want a Taça.
That's a cerveja. Look, I have one too. I want it.
Yeah, but still.
That's why you guys all been saying about Benfica winning. When Benfica wins, then it's like the cerveja, Copa da Cerveja.
My point is we do adapt, though. We do adapt.
It's fine. Then you guys adapt. Perfect. Then tomorrow there's no excuses. Paella can be whatever it is. We're missing guys too.
It's not an excuse. I'm just saying it's going to affect our. He's like a key part of the game, right? We would be better if Pelinha was on the field, but it's not an excuse. I'm just saying. You asked if it affects the game. I say yes. If you guys don't have a back line, it affects your game too. You guys,
we haven't had a back line. We haven't
had
a back
line. You guys have sucked.
No, we're 6 points. Let's take it this way. We win out this season. We are champions. I don't give a shit if you're 6 points ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you beat us twice. Do you think Benfica's going to win out this season?
I'm just saying if Benfica wins out this season from now on, like when did we beat you last year or when Jesus was there? We won out and we're champions, right?
That was only 8 games left. But So I can say too, if Sporting won more games
out,
in their last years, they'd be champion too.
If Sporting wins out, they're champions. If Benfica wins out, they're champions. It's not like Benfica's dependent on anybody else. All right, Benfica's depending on themselves. If they win out, they're champions.
Yeah, it's a high task. But so I agree. You're talking. It's like a dunk.
I know, but you're saying. But what I'm trying to say is Benfica's back line has been in and out with COVID. Like never played the 4 guys straight. Almeida's our captain has been hurt the whole season. Like it's not like
your back line was like it wasn't all fucked up last year. Not like at the end of it was like at last 2 months maybe.
Yeah,
you guys your excuses were that Otamendi and Vertonghen had to like learn how to play together,
and they did.
You guys can still concede almost every game.
But they haven't played together. When they started playing together and actually adapting to each other, it wasn't much. There weren't many goals conceded. Look at the goals conceded compared to Sporting. We had a back line that never fucking played together ever.
Yeah, it's probably like 8. I don't know what it is right now. How many more?
Six. Sporting's conceded 9 and Benfica's conceded 15.
So 6 goals. Do you think that's a big difference for a team that's never played together in the back line? Or Gilberto adapting to a new league?
Yeah, in the Portugal. But how many of those? I get it, right? But still, your excuse is always one of the defenders is out. But it's the same thing.
Our 4 defenders haven't played together, and when they did play together, they were starting to look decent. And then COVID came, and now they're backed up, and now they're back again. And we don't have the Tavares guy was stepping in. That guy is never. It sucked. He sucked.
So to your point too, Sporting had defenders on the COVID thing too.
Dude, I'm not. But I'm not. What I'm saying here is, you're saying Benfica's defense sucks. We conceded 6 more goals than you guys have. All right, and that's 3 against Boavista, which I don't know how the fuck that happened, and 3 against Braga. That just in the first 20 minutes, we conceded those 6 goals. That's 2 games, and we completely like that. Those 2 games weren't there. We'd be tied for the goals conceded.
Yeah, Kumbarsi, you keep like I can say you're doing like ifs, and if those if we didn't concede 3 more goals, we'd have 9 less than you.
I know, but those 2 games were flukes. You can tell me should go play and lose one more time and score 3 goals.
I get it, but it still happened.
It can still happen. Like if Sporting can see 6 tomorrow, it can happen.
It could. It's not going to. It's not going to, but it could.
It can happen. It's not the first time.
In terms of the 2 teams, Oscar, I'll start with you. Where do you think Sporting has weaknesses that Benfica can take advantage of?
I think Sporting's weaknesses. I mean, they play as a team. They really have a solid back line, but like Paul said, the being slow might be their weakness. And using Rafa's on that wing to kind of get through them. I think that'll be the play. And then using Servi. We need to use Servi to help Grimaldo. And if we use Servi to help...
Is he staying now?
Yeah, he's staying. Yeah. If we use Servi to help Grimaldo, that left side, I'm not worried about it. It could be Porro, it could be Pedro Gonçalves, it could be whatever the fuck they want. I'm not worried about it.
Paul, where do you think Benfica has weaknesses that you guys can take advantage of?
Your back line. We're gonna come in. Pedro Porro is going to be running up and down the right side, and Nuno Mendes on the left, and they're both fast and can serve the ball. So that's where we're going to attack you on is the wing. So you guys have your left and right backs that aren't the greatest. It's Gilberto who's not the greatest, and then who's going to start on the left side for you guys?
Grimaldo.
But you'll probably put Servi over there too. So we'll see if you guys can contain Porro because he's been definitely like our top player, I think, this year. So
and I think on the left side with Mendes, what's his name? Nuno Mendes, right?
Nuno Mendes.
I think Rafa helping Gilberto will be huge, and Rafa's been doing that, and Rafa has speed. So I think it could be a wash on those 2 wings.
Yeah, if you guys can contain Porro, it'll be a difference maker too.
I think the biggest, and I'm not gonna use excuses for you guys. The biggest thing is our midfield is gonna stick it to you guys. No paella.
Yeah, but we made it work. João Mario is like he's very good too. He's a centerman, not a defensive midi. And then it's all about if the Matheus Nunes kid, can actually stay like and defend and not just think attack. And I think we'll be okay.
Do you think so? You said Pedro Gonçalves. I thought he was out a game.
No, he was at the Taça game.
Oh, he missed that one. So you think he starts over Sporad?
No, well, he'll start for sure. I a lineup drawn up. I don't know who they're going to bench because Cabral's back too, so I don't know who they're going to end up starting up top.
Say your lineup. I'm gonna write
Hold
it
on,
down.
we're gonna get to the lineup in a little bit.
Well, I know. I bet you I'll all but one I'll probably get right because I don't know who's going to start as the striker.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to the lineup in a little bit. Another talking point here: JJ with COVID potentially not going to be on the bench. The potential that he did test today or tomorrow that he might still be cleared.
He's scared too. He's like tanking Kenny running away.
I mean, he's got a good record against you guys, so I'm not sure you should be scared.
The good thing about Jesus not being on the bench, he won't make stupid subs. So maybe we get him up on that one.
What do you think? There's any impact, Paul? I'll start with you. Do you think there's any impact to the game, to the mindset of the players? I mean, if you guys were missing Ruben Amorim in a game like this, would you be concerned? Do you think it would galvanize the team to perform a little bit better? What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think it impacts it that much. I feel like the game plan's set. You have like the other coaches on the bench that can like pass on the word or whatever. So I don't think it's going to impact it that much. It is a big game, and I guess having your coach on there will like he can like influence more. He sees more or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be that big of an impact for Benfica.
Oscar, do you agree?
Of course. Well, I agree just because I don't like Jesus. But a coach not being on the bench, it's huge. If the coach, like, is a talker, and Jesus, it looks like is a talker, right? He yells at players, not talks. He yells at them. So that's big to get a fixed thing on the field that he sees, because you can't call somebody and be like, hey, tell Grimaldo to go back or to attack this, attack that, because it doesn't happen that way. You speak it on the spot. So it is a big difference. I just don't like him, so I don't get it. He can be in the bancada all he wants or home watching TV, whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Jonathan makes a good point here. Sporting, I mentioned that it's a good opportunity for the team, Benfica's team, to kind of gain a little bit of extra motivation for the fact that JJ's not there. He's out with COVID, blah, blah, blah. Flipping that around, Jonathan makes a good point here. Sporting going to rally around Palhinha's undeserved suspension.
That's just if they lose, it's all they're going to use. Oh, Palhinha, got to use.
What I'm saying is I agree with him. I think it's an undeserved suspension. What I'm saying is, just like I said about JJ, do you think that Sporting's team could use that as motivation as well going into this game?
Yeah, I think. Oh, you going to Oscar first?
Oh, you can go, Paul.
Go ahead.
I think that Sporting's been playing every game like that. Like, we have guys like Pedro Porto who, like, they go with heart against the smallest team or the biggest team. So I don't think it's definitely something to add motivation to them, but they don't need it. They've always motivated every game, I think. I've never seen Sporting look like they've had games where they haven't played well, but it's not due to lack of motivation. It's just not playing well, or the field being like complete shit where you can't play well.
Well, my thing is, in like we've been saying for a while, is it's not really the truth against Sporting, because there's a lot of young kids in Sporting, right? But they have experience too. They have João Mario, who's played, won the Euro. They have the back line, Coates and all that. They're experienced players, right? But there's a lot of Juventude, a lot of young players playing, right? And it feels like, I think we'll see the true colors when they play a real giant tomorrow, right?
We've already faced the Giants.
Listen. When you talk to Giants, they talk about Porto's in the up north, and they probably like, it's not even. They live in Lisbon, right? Those guys probably have houses in Lisbon. They know when the Giants is around, right? They know it's coming for you.
Yeah, they beat them.
So, they just relax. Let's wait until tomorrow. Let's see if those fucking players, the little young guys that they think they're superstars, let's see if they don't shit their pants. Hey, I'll admit it. Benfica shit their pants when they played Porto last year. The only how they turned their campeonato around is when they lost to Porto, right? That's when they started shitting their pants. Let's see. Tomorrow could be the turning point, my friend.
I don't think so, but I mean, tomorrow is it's not a must win for you guys, but it's a can't lose for you guys for sure.
So that's a good segue. I was going to and they asked Ruben Amorim about it today as well. This is a lot like Benfica Porto last year or 2 years ago. 2 years ago, where we can go into the season or go into the game. We go in with 7 points or 4 point gap or 7 point gap. And if we win, we cut it down, or we extend it. If we lose, they cut it down, and we ended up losing the season.
We're at
This is
7.
a
7.
we win in 7. Could have made it
We
10.
went at 7. It could have been 10. Went up to
Yep.
4.
So we go into this game different derby than probably we've ever experienced in our lives. We got no fans in the stadium. Sporting arguably playing some of the better soccer that we've seen since we've been growing up. I mean, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 years with JJ, and obviously the year that they won it with Augusto Inácio. But as a whole, probably one of the best performing teams that we've seen them put together thus far. Benfica goes into this game. If we lose, we're 9 points back. If we win, we cut it back down to 3. If we tie, everything stays the same. Oscar, I'll ask you, do you think that if Benfica loses this game, not only is the gap too big, but psychologically, does it impact the team? I know that there's the whole second half of the season left. There's still a lot to be played. But like Paul mentioned earlier, Sporting's in one competition and one competition only. That's all they've got to look forward to. They're playing once a week. They don't have to travel anywhere. There's not, fatigue. It's just one game, focus, let's get going. If Benfica loses this game, how do you think this impacts the team?
All right. So if Benfica loses, there'll be 9 points. And this is, and I don't want to use Sportingistas to take offense to this and all that. I'll be more worried about Porto being ahead 6 points than Sporting 9. Okay. And that's and to me, I'll probably toss the towel just because we have those two teams. If it was Benfica in second and Sporting's 9 points ahead, we still have the second round to go. Benfica still has a home game against them. Will be 6 points if we beat them, and then there's 6 points. There's 2 games to play with, right? But when it comes to Porto being 6 ahead and then Sporting 9 ahead, now that's a different animal we have to deal with.
Okay. Paul, what do you think this does for Sporting? If you go into it with a 9 or 6 point gap, realistically speaking, Benfica Sporting's like the derby, right? I know Benfica Porto's a big clásico, but there's just something about this same city rivalry that people say it's been Sporting's championship game for years, right? And again, it's your rival, it's your same city, right? There's always, and the history, between Benfica and Sporting when both were founded, etc. So you go into this game with a 6 point gap, a team but with a lot of youth, hungry players, performing well. You have the chance to basically step on their throat while they're down, make it 9 points. If you come out of it with a draw, I think Sporting is still sitting prettier than Benfica at that point. Really, the only result here that I think hurts, and I use that word loosely, is a defeat for Sporting. But even then, you're still 3 points ahead, right? So a draw, okay, fine, we got a draw. A win, amazing result, right? You go up 9 points. If Sporting wins this game, what do you think that does to the team going forward? And do you think a 9 point gap kind of pushes Benfica away from the title race?
So yeah, I do think a 9 point gap does push Benfica away. I think that Sporting, it's definitely not a must win for us, obviously, but winning this game puts us still 4 points in front of Porto, which is huge, and 9 points in front of Benfica. So a win here is obviously the result that we want, and I think the players are going to go in there for the win, not for the tie or anything like that. A tie it'll just keep us the way we are, but Porto will end up, if they end up winning the game they have, will only be 2 back from us if we tie. So that's a big thing where it's just a 1 game flip, where right now it's 4 points. And then if we lose, Porto will be 1, Benfica will be 3. The loss would be obviously the worst outcome, and I don't think Sporting, it'll affect us mentally that much because it'll be our first loss, yeah, but we just have to go to Marítimo after and win.
Only go to Marítimo and win.
No, my point is like
if you guys lose, it's a cliff, buddy.
That's my point. It's like if we lose to you guys, right, and then go to Marítimo and lose, that's like a major swing.
That's a cliff. That's when you should have bought the parachute. I told you to buy it.
Yeah, well, it's not. It's going to be after February 1st, so you'll have to buy me.
No, you're lucky. COVID happened. You're lucky. That's an excuse. The game got pushed.
It's always an excuse with you. I do. So I think I don't think it's going to be as impactful for if Benfica lose. It's like close to season being over. if Sporting lose, it's not the end of the world. We still are the title's still in our own hands. We're 1 point ahead of Porto, 3 ahead of Benfica. We just we can't let it happen again, right? We have to, if we lose to Benfica, Marítimo almost becomes a must-win for us.
You just have to go second leg. If you lose to Benfica and you're 1 point ahead of Porto and 3 ahead of Benfica, you only have to go play at Porto and in Benfica the second round, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, Benfica. Luckily, by the time we get to Benfica, if we need the win, it's easier because Benfica sucks. But Porto and Braga, I'm more worried about.
Yeah, you have to go play 3 away games second leg, buddy. Against the top 3.
Yeah, top 3. Top 3 that we've already beaten and you haven't.
No, you haven't beaten Porto. Other than the cup
twice. We beat him and tied him. Beat him and tied him.
Yeah, the cup game, it's whatever. It's this one.
And Braga too. We're undefeated against those two, and you're on no wins against those two. So keep talking.
Okay.
And there's a lot. Oscar talks so much shit. He said Sporting, like, we signed our whole starting lineup. I think is only like 2 starters from last year. So when you said we don't have depth, I don't get it. Like, Sporting signed a ton of people this offseason. They just didn't cost 25 million like Benfica to suck. They cost like 3 or 8, and they're actually good. That's the difference. Sporting's team is almost all revamped from last year.
No, you guys. I said it. I admitted it. You guys invested good. You guys invested in the league.
You also said we had no depth. We have plenty of depth.
Yeah, because those players haven't at that time. We didn't know those players could do.
The only position we don't have depth is Trinco. Everywhere else we're good.
Yeah,
and
but
I don't like our strikers. That's the
only, at that time, I didn't know Paillas. I didn't know freaking Porros. I didn't know Pedro Gonçalves.
He was on Braga last year. He was actually good on Braga too.
Yeah, but like so was Diogo Souza and came to Benfica. What did he do?
Yeah, but
he didn't come from Benfica. He didn't come to Benfica from Braga.
But he came from the Portuguese league, being a stud, going to wherever the.
He's also a striker, right? He was a striker. This guy is a midfielder.
But it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't always pan out. Like a player that plays in the middle of a Braga it's a top 3. So, but
you keep saying that.
but a player that leaves a team in Portugal and go play for the top 3, Sporting, Benfica, Porto. It's a lot of the times they don't pan out. So them playing good in Guimarães or Nacional and coming.
He was on Sporting, but he just barely played. Then he got loaned to Braga,
right?
And then he just came back from his loan,
right? So at that time, when I said no depth, how would I know those guys that you guys got? Like, no names.
But they were starters. Like the guys that we got became starters, and then the guys that were on the team last year moved to the bench. Really.
Yeah,
like Cabral got hurt, but he was starting last year. And when people get another thing that I remember you guys saying is Ruben Amorim came from Braga to Sporting and then ended up finishing below Braga. But when he came to Sporting, we lost Bruno Fernandes and we didn't replace him. Sporting and then Vieto ended up getting hurt. Like we got smoked by all of our. Like we had a shit team after, and we basically handed them failure. That's why Sporting ended up losing more games.
Do you remember who's what the game was last game when Bruno Fernandes played for Sporting?
I don't remember now.
Oh yeah, it was a loss against Benfica. Then he went bye.
Oh, that's right. It was that game, but still, like it doesn't matter. But the thing is, like losing Bruno Fernandes.
You guys kept Bruno Fernandes just to play Benfica, and then he went crying. I still have pictures of him crying on the way out.
Well, it's his last game. Didn't Servi cry too last game? And now he's playing. Servi probably got told he had to stay at Benfica. That's why he was crying last game when he's against Belenenses.
No,
we're not selling you. He started crying.
I almost cried because if Servi leaves, that's like he
was crying because he was forced to stay. He was like, "Oh, I'm almost out of this shit club," and then it's like, "Oh,
that's why he played his heart out."
Yeah, because it was his last game, and then he's gone.
You'll see him play tomorrow.
A-Rod's asking for some betting tips here. You guys see any red cards in this game?
No, just bet. Hey, A-Rod, bet against Chelsea. Whatever you do, they fucking suck.
Do I see red cards against Sporting? Well, if Benfica's up 2-0, I'd probably see Benfica getting a red card so the Sporting can catch up.
I don't see a red card tomorrow.
I know that you guys had a few topics that you wanted to jump into before I went to the starting 11s. I'll open it up to you guys. Anything that you want to discuss in terms of this game before we go into the predicted 11s and the score?
Oh yeah, I have a conspiracy theory for you guys. It all makes sense. So Jorge Jesus is a Sportingista, right? He couldn't win it when he was coaching Sporting. So this is his master plan. He left Portugal, right? Then he went to Egypt, wherever he went, Ali, whatever.
Saudi Arabia.
Constructed a master plan, went to Brazil and like showed, I can still coach. Dumbass Benfica goes and gets him, and now he's making Benfica play like shit and lose. So Sporting win the campeonato. It all makes sense.
And same thing's gonna happen with you guys and get a bell. You're probably gonna get a bell next year.
That's my conspiracy theory. It all makes sense now. He had a master plan to go back and coach Benfica to lose.
Oscar's gonna take that bait because he hates JJ.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. If
Oscar also thought someone was paying Otamendi to concede goals.
Paul, I'm gonna ride that wagon. If we lose this year, it's because Jesus lost before you guys.
Absolutely. You would have ended up coming to that thing yourself.
100%.
Anything that makes Benfica look good or Sporting look bad.
I've been shitting on Jesus. I've been shitting on his options. I've been shitting on him paying them wasting 100 million. I've been shitting on that. So I
will say when Judge Jesus was on Sporting, I didn't like him either.
Yeah,
so
you didn't?
I did not.
Interesting.
Obviously, he was an annoying fan that didn't like him because didn't fans beat him up?
No, I didn't like Judge Jesus because he wouldn't make sense when he did lineup sometimes. Like he would like rest guys for no reason. I thought he was like overthinking everything in his head when he's on Sporting. It was not. Granted, Sporting didn't really have the best teams, but I never liked Judge Jesus.
But in our lifetime, he was the coach that made Sporting the most competitive, apart from the 99-2000 season when Inácio won it.
Well, yeah. So Sporting had another in like when Lietzen was there in like 2006, when they were actually pretty good too. But yeah, that year when we had everyone, it was when, and then it was me and Adrian Silva, João Marius. That year we were good, right? But I never liked Judges even when he was on Benfica. I never liked him. He made Sporting good, but I just didn't like him as a coach in general. Like he won so much with Benfica too, and Oscar doesn't like him for some reason, right? You just don't like the coach.
I don't like him. I don't like how he left. I don't like how he
came back. He came back to screw you guys. I'm telling you. You'll see.
Yeah, I know he did.
Well, we were just talking about it before we went live that this might be the first time that I can remember, but obviously we don't know some of the affiliations some of these coaches have. But on Sporting's bench, we have Ruben Amorim, who's been a Benfica socio since he was a kid. And on Benfica's bench, he might not be there tomorrow, but we have Jorge Jesus, who I don't know if he's a socio Sporting, but I know he's been a fan for a long time. His dad was a fan. That was part of the reason why he went to Sporting when he left Benfica. So we got a Benfica fan coaching Sporting and a Sporting fan coaching Benfica. So be interesting to see how that. Hopefully, João de Deus isn't a Sporting fan too, and maybe it'll help us out. So we'll have a Benfica and a Benfica on both sides, on both benches.
It would be good as if because Jesus not on the bench, the assistant coach he plays a real team, and then Mourinho plays a fucking aleijado so they can lose.
Well, another thing that we have to bring up, right, is talking about the coach getting beat up. When that happened at the training in Sporting, we lost a ton of guys for like cheap money, where we had a bunch of guys that were going to sell for big, and Sporting could invest. We essentially had to build from scratch again. And now to be like where we are now, it's actually pretty incredible if you think about it. So we lost a bunch of guys for pennies.
Do you blame Bruno Carvalho because he's the one who chanted those fans to go to do this shit?
Well, that's not proven, but whatever that whole like if that wasn't Bruno Carvalho and just fans doing that, they're the true idiots because a ton of guys left, costing us a ton of money, and then we had to start from scratch. Now, luckily, we like swung and just hit home runs on young guys that are playing well, but Sporting literally didn't have any money to buy anyone. Like, and we've built right now championship caliber team because we're fighting for the title for sure.
I'll ask you this, Paul. Do you think that, given the team that you guys have, right? There's a lot of youth there. There's a little bit of experience, but a lot of youth. Do you think the fact that the stadiums are empty has helped Sporting in the sense of there's not that outside pressure for some of these young guys to have to adapt to?
So, I mean, I feel like fans always make a game better, but I see your point as like the fans can, like if they start playing bad, the pressure from the fans. I think no fans has hurt everyone in general, but I guess Sporting's clearly playing well. Benfica clearly doesn't play as well without fans because you guys are not playing well at all. But I don't think that obviously I think fans in the stadium would help the team more than hurt them. So I don't think it's affecting them at all. Like I don't.
Oscar's got a smirk. I know he's got something to say to that.
Yeah. What I have to say to that is like, see, that's how small teams think, because big teams are used to fans. Like you look at the big teams in Europe, like Juventus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah, they're used to fans. Sporting, if you consider Sporting a big team, they should be wanting the fans. They should be like affected by the fans not being there. They're playing well because they're little kids. If they had fans, if Benfica had fans, I guarantee you right now, Sporting will not be ahead by 6 points.
Why?
Because that's why they in Benfica in like the 12th person, the fan, is an extra player on the field for Benfica for some reason. Every time they struggle,
it's every home game.
Yeah, every away game too. Against Sporting, we'll probably have more fans than you guys there at your shitty ass stadium. That's
It's not true. They don't sell all those tickets to Benfica fans. It's like.
Look, everywhere Benfica plays in Portugal, okay, take away Sporting in Porto because they don't allow it, because they only allow a percentage of the passes. But everywhere you play, Benfica plays at home because of the fans.
Yeah, my point to you is if fans were in the stadium, it wouldn't make the kids play worse. Is my point.
Yeah, the young kids like you guys have, of course they want to play with an empty stadium, no pressure. Like
no, why would they? If they're playing well, which they are, there would be no pressure. Anyway.
No, there's a difference between like once you have a bad result, you guys had a bad result against the team, right? If we guys have fans and you guys got those kids got a sense of booing or any kind of like negativity, it would change their. It did for us last year.
I don't think that. So Sporting has been killing it, and then a Taça game that we lose where we didn't play our starters either. We went in there and lost. I don't think it would have affected them, and then we came back to a win right away. No. And then we won a Taça right away. Like I don't think
little teams are benefiting from no fans because the big teams.
Dude, you have to get out of your mind that Sporting's a little team. That's your whole thing.
No,
You're like,
I'm saying little team. I'm saying like in general. I'm not talking about only Sporting, even though I consider them a little team.
But you're wrong. A little team. So you're saying that a little team right now is beating all the big teams, but you can't.
Like Braga did it last
so is that year. Another conspiracy theory for you? It's because you don't have fans. That's why you're not winning.
No. I'm just saying
you have so many excuses. Do you write these all down?
Little teams. No, I look at blank piece of paper.
Say how many notebooks do you have full of excuses? So like when something happens, you're like, I'll use this one today.
Hey, little teams benefit from no fans.
Yeah, I'm going to start writing yours down.
Is that true or not? Is that true or not? Little teams benefit from no fans.
Yeah, little teams like Tondelas. And
I'm just saying little teams in general. In general, little teams.
I think every team wants fans in the stadium, regardless
if their whole field little teams don't fill those stadiums. So little teams
they don't have big stadiums to fill.
And when they do, the big team brings all the fans.
So to my point, you're saying that Benfica's losing points to these little teams because there's no fans.
No, I'm not saying that. I guarantee we don't lose half of those games if we had we wouldn't. For some reason, we go into these games almost half asleep when we just concede 1-2 goals, just like we did against Braga and some of the other games that we lost. Right? Looks like we go in dead. With fans in the stadium, I think those players will not go in like that. That's
the difference. When Sporting goes down like 1 or 2, or they need a goal, they still go for it. The fans being there would help, but they do it anyway.
I agree. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying little teams benefit from no fans because the big teams can't bring them in. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna drink. I'll chug with you.
Well, I'm gonna ask you.
Nice connect you got there.
If you're like,
it's just from Paul.
What is that? Is that Buddha?
It's his belly button.
That's
But yeah, so you're saying that to be a big team, you need fans to win. So Benfica,
no, we don't need it. It helps big teams. It helps big teams push through games, the hard games especially.
If you were good enough, you wouldn't need that extra bump.
I totally agree.
You should have these guys getting kicked in the ass without them.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree. But for some reason, big team. When you're looking around the Europe, look at Juventus. They're in 3rd, 4th place because they don't have fans, and that team should be in first by a lot.
Hey, if you suck, you suck.
Dude, it is what it is. But I'm telling you, little teams benefit from it, and I'm glad you say you benefit from it.
All right, we're gonna play a game here.
I don't think it matters.
Take one, hate one. So growing up, Paul, I'm gonna start with you. Of all the players that you saw on Benfica growing up, who was the one player that you disliked the most, and why?
I mean, I didn't like any of them, to be honest with you. But so the one I hated, Oscar Cardozo. Obviously, he was like he scored goals. He just knew how to finish. I also hated Jardel because he literally took away the last time we could win a title, and that really pissed me off. And I was just never.
Luis Zhang did that too.
So Luis Zhang was actually a player that I liked though, because Luis Zhang was like a true captain. I know that he was like the Benfica staple, right? But I just respected Luis Zhang. But I would just say Cardozo out of all of them. I just didn't. It's a guy that he's a guy. Him and I'm trying to blank right now. Who was the other striker that was just there? He was like the old guy, Jonas. Those two guys, when they were on the field, it's like you knew they were good for a goal, and I hated both of those guys.
Did Jonas score against Sporting ever? He probably did.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. What would you say was the player that Benfica had that you would have liked to see at Sporting?
It's one that actually went. Yeah, João Pinto.
Yeah, they had him. He took him, motherfucker. Yeah. No, Malias Vidal gave him to you.
Okay, yeah, that's João Pinto. Everyone liked João Pinto, and when he came to Sporting, that's when we won the fucking league.
Okay. Oscar, who is the one player at Sporting that you didn't like?
I didn't like Lietzen.
Yeah, everyone didn't like Lietzen.
Because he, for some fucking reason, always scored against us. Always scored against us. And if a player that at Sporting that I would take at Benfica would be Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
And I would have said Cristiano Ronaldo, but he wasn't there long enough. I didn't see him play at Sporting that long. And oh shit. Oh fuck. No, I'll take that back. I'll reverse. Nani.
I didn't even think of that. Nani.
Nani.
My player that I didn't like. There's no player that I can stand out and say I didn't like at Sporting. Honestly, I just never looked at the Sporting rivalry like that. Like when I think Porto, I think guys like Secretario, Jorge Costa, Paulinho Set, like guys that I fucking hated seeing on TV. Regardless, when I think Sporting, like I don't think of any players that I disliked. I mean, if I had to pick one, it would be Lietzen, right? Because he scored a lot against us. And players that I would have liked to see at Benfica from Sporting, I want to go outside the box here. Pedro Barbosa. Pedro Barbosa was always a player that I thought smooth on the ball. He had a cool head. I don't know. I feel like he brought a lot to the game. And he was one of those guys that I feel like he was just always overlooked. Like he was in the Portuguese league. He wasn't maybe, top quality, but he was just a smooth guy on the ball. And I always thought he was a good player growing up. So that's my choice.
What else did Sporting really have that was like a standout player?
I mean, they had Oceano. They had,
No.
I mean, in the 90s, they had like Oceano and Figo, but we didn't really.
Yeah. But we're talking about in the 2000s.
So Lietzen was a big one. We had.
He's my love.
But he's not like a
standout.
Moutinho was on here. Adrian Silva was a big one too. That was good. William Carvalho was big. Let's see.
I'm trying to think back here.
Our back line too.
You guys really that bad?
Anderson Polga.
Defender. We had Vetu too in the back line. Yeah. Acosta was like early 2000s too. Yeah.
Yeah. I fucking hated that little guy.
He's a striker, right?
Yeah.
Vetu Acosta, I think his name is.
Yeah. Let's see, Jonathan.
Rockenbach.
Veloso, Moutinho.
Yeah, Miguel Veloso was big on there too.
Yeah.
Damn, Bruma. I guess.
No, Bruma was never Bruma barely played on Sporting.
Yeah.
But he had a lot of hype when he left, and then he ended up fading out.
Yeah.
Let's go into the starting 11s for tomorrow. So we'll start. I'll go back and forth here. We'll start in goal. Sporting, I think, obviously, Adan. Oh, yeah, my mom just also mentioned Jardel. Fucking hated that guy.
Yeah, but Jardel was like one. He had he was more Porto's guy, right?
Yeah,
and then
but if you think about like Jardel, he had that season with Sporting where he scored like 42 goals.
42 goals.
Yeah. But I remember him scoring. I don't remember him against Benfica from Sporting scoring like all those goals. Lietzen, it's every single game. The fucking guy Ratu, you would get a goal.
I don't know if you guys remember this game, but I remember it. Benfica It was either Benfica Sporting or Sporting Benfica. I can't remember where it was. A ball gets crossed into the box, and I can't remember who the defender is that's next to Jardel, but the guy's got to be a good 1.5 feet away from him. The ball comes up in the air, Jardel jumps and flops, and they call the penalty against Benfica. I'll never forget that penalty. The guy's not even next to him, and he fell, and they called the penalty against Benfica. I was so pissed off. Yeah, so that's my memory of Jardel.
Get tuners.
Foi para a piscina. It was a swimming pool. Oh, PRLX1904 on Twitter says Foi o Bento. He's watching us from Lisbon. Big hour change there. Starting 11 for tomorrow. So we'll start in the back. Then obviously starting for Sporting. For Benfica, Odysseus is supposed to. Yes, Odysseus is supposed to get the okay tomorrow. If he goes into the starting 11 or not, I don't know. I guess it depends on what his tests come back with. But if he's not available, Oscar, do you think we go with Svilar since he's played the last 2 games, or do you throw Elton Late in there?
I don't trust Svilar or whatever his name is. And Late, I mean, man. See how you guys missing Paella? I don't know what's more important, Paella or a goalie.
Well, you're gonna concede anyway, so it doesn't matter who's in there.
But but a goalie. Say you guys didn't have it done. Who's your backup goalie?
It's the kid, Maximiliano. He was good. He played last year.
He played last year, yeah.
Yeah. What place did you guys?
He was good. Yeah, but it wasn't because of him.
So who do you think he goes with?
I think he goes with Late. I think Fodi, if Odysseus is good, he'll go with Odysseus. But if not, it's going to be Late.
Okay. In the back, Paul, I'll start with you. Who do you think he's going to put back there?
Well, it's going to be the same 5 that he always starts, or the 3 and the 2. It's going to be Neto, Coates, and Fidal will be the 3 center backs, and then Nuno Mendes on the left and Porto on the right.
Okay. Oscar está ali a fazer apontamentos.
Eu estou escrevendo a carta.
Those if those 5 guys are available, they'll
cinco defesas, foda-se, tens.
No, it's 3. It's 3 and 2 wingbacks. You can put those guys in the midfield too, yeah, if you want.
All right, Coates, Neto. Who's the other one? Neto?
Yeah, and Fidal.
Coates, Neto, and Vidal.
Fidal.
The Moroccan kid.
Okay. I think in our back line will be Gilberto, Otamendi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo.
Okay. You think Otamendi comes back in?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Why aren't you guys getting rid of all your other center backs too?
Ferro and Todibo, I think they just went.
Yeah, Ferro went to Valencia, and Todibo went to Nice.
And the Verissimo guy should be on the way, but he's not in yet.
So you really don't have many options anyway to put back there. It has to be those
we have Jardel.
And
it'll be Otamendi, Vertonghen, and Grimaldo.
Okay, and then midfield, Paul. What do you think he's going to go with?
So I think he's going to just do the Mario and Mateus Nunes in the midfield.
So
he might play Pot. He might play Pot in like a attacking midi spot too if he does 3, like behind the strikers. He might throw Pot in there, but it'll be those for sure.
Pot is Pedro. What's his name? Pedro Gonçalves.
Do you think that midfield 2 or midfield 3 lacks a little bit of steel in the middle of the park?
Yeah, I do. It lacks Peligia. Is what it lacks. So, but I don't know. I don't think he has any like tricks up his sleeve. We really don't have anybody else that we can throw in there that's a defensive midfield unless he throws like a center back that could probably play there because we have Inácio and Quaresma that can possibly be that Trinco position. I really don't know what he's thinking. I didn't mind how he played against Braga, or against the game that he played Nunes and Mario there. I didn't mind how they played, so I think he's just going to go with those 2.
Okay, Oscar, midfield. What do you think we're going with?
I think we're going to have like a 4. I'm not going to say there's going to be Servi, Vigo, Pizzi, and Rafa. I think.
Okay. Okay. Everton gets the okay tomorrow. I don't know if he's going to come into the team or not, but I would be surprised if he did.
No, he won't.
And then up top, Paul, who's going up top?
All right, so I'm going to put Porto as like the attacking midi. So up top will be Nuno Santos, and that other guy is the guy that I'm struggling with because it's either going to be Jovan, who had those 2 goals against Porto, but he started the last other couple games and he really didn't do much. He can put Sporad in there or Thiago Tomás. So that last guy, I'm gonna go with I don't know. Sporad is literally like sporadic. He's one day he's good, the other day he sucks. But I'll say Nuno Santos, and I'm gonna say he's gonna put in. I'm gonna say Jovan.
So you're gonna have the 5 back or 3 back, and then the 2 wide wing backs.
Well, they normally play like a three in the back, and then when they defend, they play with a 5.
Yeah. I like that setup. But then Mario and Nunes, you have Pote, Nuno, and Sporad.
Yeah. The only guy is Jovan is the one that I don't know. No, I have Jovan, not Sporad. But it could be any one of those. Thiago Tomás has been really starting too, so it could be him.
So do you think, Oscar, before you say yours, wrong one. Paul, do you agree with Jonathan's lineup here?
Yeah, he has.
Neto, Coates, Fedal, Nuno Mendes, Mateus Nunes, João Mário, Nuno Santos, Thiago Tomás, and Pote.
Yeah, so he has the same guys I have, except he has Thiago Tomás in, which it easily could be him. So everyone but Thiago Tomás, it could be Sporad or Jovan.
So in this formation, do you think you end up playing with like a midfield diamond with João Mário, Mateus Nunes, kind of side by side, and then Pote in front of them behind Thiago Tomás?
Yeah, I feel like that's how they're gonna play it. And those guys will all they like switch around all the time, but it'll be like those 3 in the midfield.
Okay, Oscar, who do you think's going up top?
I'm gonna go. This is where I think he's gonna play the trick card. I think he'll go with Darwin and Chiquinho.
Oof. God, my heart stopped a little bit when you said Chiquinho.
Watch.
Why do you think he's going to play him?
Because you'll need help coming back. And with Seth, I don't think... And Seth has been sucking, like legit sucking, like worse than sucking. So I think Chiquinho can help a little bit on the wings when or in the middle when PZ wants to push up.
So who was your midfield again? It was PZ,
Weigl, Servi, and Rafa, right? And then with Chiquinho helping out on the top 3 with the help of switching with Rafa, switching with PZ, it could switch them. It can mess them up a little bit.
Like a 4-4.
And Chiquinho hasn't been playing bad when he comes in, so it's like, and it's been scoring. So I wouldn't see it. I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
See, and I could see that too, where he plays like a Sporad to start, and then brings in like the faster kids for the second half.
Yeah, but then I can see Everton coming in after. He's probably going to bring in Nuno Tavares. I don't know why, but he'll bring him in.
Well, Nuno Tavares is... Oh, he just got cleared on Friday, I think it was. So he should be good.
Yeah, he's probably kissing dogs still, though.
Oh, disgusting. All right, so that's our starting 11. Let's do the predictions before we go into this trivia to close it off. Oscar, I'm going to start with you. What is your prediction? I guess, I don't know if I mentioned it, but just quickly, did I mention the results at home? Yeah, I did. At home for Sporting. Yeah, I did. What's your prediction?
Last week when I talked about Belenenses, I felt confident against Belenenses, and I said we're gonna win easy, and I said 3-1, and then I also said and then 3-0 against Sporting. I think I got those reversed: 3-0 against Belenenses and 3-1 against Sporting. Okay,
so 1-3.
Yeah,
I'm gonna predict that. I'll say my score after, but I'm gonna predict. And here's another conspiracy theory for you, Paul. Benfica has yet to get a penalty in the league this year. I think this is the game. There's going to be a controversial game, and I think Benfica gets the first penalty in the league in this game. I'll say my prediction after. What's your prediction, Paul?
All right, so I can see this game ending in a tie, but I'm going to say, because I'm not going to be on this podcast again until we play you guys again, right?
No, tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Be ready for it.
I'm going to say Sporting 2-1.
Sporting 2-1.
You guys can have your controversial PK goal, but we're going to score 2.
Oof. And you're two going to be controversial too.
Well, for you, even if they were clean goals, you're going to make them controversial. You'll say the ref is a Sportingista.
I'm gonna say the prediction that my head says. I thought about it before. I think it's gonna be 1-1. I think a 1-1 tie. I think there's going to be some. I just get the sense that there's going to be some sort of controversy in this game. I've said it. I mentioned it to my parents the other day. I feel like Benfica potentially gets a call in their favor in this game. I just have this feeling that this game is going to keep everything still in play for the top three. I just have the sense that it's going to happen, whether it's a penalty, whether it's a sending off, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I just get the sense that there's going to be something in this game that's going to level it out so Benfica doesn't go 9 points back. And even if Porto wins, right, everything's still tight there for the second round of the season. So I'm going to go 1-1. And I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a penalty for Benfica in this game. Before we go into the trivia, let's go through some of these predictions here. PRLX says 2-1 for Benfica. Dom says 1-1. A-Rod 2-1 Benfica. My mom says 3-1 Benfica.
I like it.
PRLX. Vamos ter conversa para a semana toda sobre penalty para o Benfica. Jonathan 2-0 for Sporting. Paul, Jonathan makes a comment here, and Moody makes great changes. Who do we think for substitutions? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it all depends on how the game's going. You can't really. I mean, if we need a goal, it's true. Mourinho does do, like, when we needed a goal against Porto, he took off a left back and he took off Pelinha and Tunes, right? A left back and a Trinco, and put in Plata, and I think it was Jovan.
Oh, and then you guys scored 2 goals, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Like, Pelinha doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, he's for defense, but he ended up like, literally, we got the 2 goals, something that Benfica can't do, come from behind and win.
Yeah, after Benfica came out, you guys won.
It all depends. If we need goals, he'll definitely. It depends who starts too, but if we need goals, Jovan will definitely come in, and another striker, if it's Sporado, Thiago Tomás, they'll come in. Usually he brings Tunes into the game, but I think he's going to start. Not Tunes, sorry, Matheus Nunes. He brings him in, but he's going to start. So I honestly don't know if he's going to make all the subs that we get, because it all depends on how the game goes. It's hard to determine subs when you're not until the game's played. It all depends on what you need.
So when you're down 2-0 tomorrow, who are you going to put in?
Well, we're not going to be down 2-0, but you put in attacking players. So whoever the striker that you don't start would come in. If it's Sporad or Thiago Tomás or Jovan, they'd come in.
And then you score. You can see the third, and then who you put in.
Yeah. But it all depends. Like I said, it depends. If we need to like keep the result, he'd probably bring in another center back, like the Inácio would come in or something as like a defensive midfielder or something. It all depends on how the game goes.
Guys, all I gotta say is I haven't felt this confident in a long time. The only time I felt confident with Benfica this season was last week against Belenenses, and obviously Belenenses sad, so whatever.
Well, I'll tell you now, most of what you've said on this podcast has been wrong. So one more thing,
the cliff. Okay, I'm not gonna use excuses, but COVID.
The cliff is not our cliff. We're going upward. If we beat you, we'll be 9 points ahead. You had to get on that parachute, more like a ladder to give up to us. Make sure you bring a megaphone so I can hear you.
Hey, so if we beat you tomorrow and you guys lose to Marítimo, do you think you're in the cliff?
Yeah, if we lose back-to-back games, yeah, we haven't lost a league game yet this year.
I know you.
If we lose back-to-back, yes, that's a cliff.
Listen. I totally give it to you. You guys are playing. You guys are winning your games or tying most of them, but winning your games.
What are you talking about tying most of them? We have 3 ties.
Well, I'm saying is if you could beat you guys tomorrow and then you guys go to Marítimo and lose, you're in the cliff.
I will admit, if we lose to you guys tomorrow and then lose to Marítimo, it's absolutely a cliff. Because you guys can be tied with us. That's then we're as bad as you. So yeah, I agree. It's a cliff.
And then the second game in the luge, we go ahead. Oh, we're good.
I'll tell you now. The only, I guess, the pro about this game is that even if Sporting lose, they're still in first place with no one tied in points. It's like a good mentality to have. But you go in there to win. Like, imagine, like, the game that I get pissed off the most about is Rio Ave, because Porto and Benfica that week lost points, and we could have taken a commanding lead there, but because of COVID too, we didn't have Neto, we didn't have Nuno Mendes, we had friggin' Antunes play, who he's literally he's out there like running around in circles, and we conceded that one. It was a nice play by them, 3x Sportingistas too, and then we can't find the goal to win, and we end up tying that game. If we had won there, we'd have a commanding lead already.
All right, so the COVID affected you guys in that game, right?
Well, I think Sporting, but we created chances to win. We still could have won that game. It just didn't matter. But that's out of all the ties, right? The Porto tie at the beginning of the season, it's Porto. I mean, that's a good result to get. Famalicão game is another I think it was a bullshit game. Portugal got a red for a second yellow. The first wasn't even a yellow. It shouldn't have been. He didn't dive. If anything, it could have been a PK. And then Ivan actually fucked up that game too. Gave him a goal. So the Famalicão game, we didn't play good either. I agreed. So we got the tie, but it's still a little conspiracy theory on that one too, as far as the red card. And then that's why the only game that I actually it was annoying was Rio Ave so far this year.
And tomorrow's
we'll see. It might not be. I'll tell you now. Every time Sporting plays, I'm like, you get into the game, you're swearing, whatever. Tomorrow's going to be another one, but hopefully we win 2-1 is what I hope.
Before we go into the trivia, you mentioned. I know we touched on it briefly earlier, but you mentioned the mindset of going in like if you lose, it's not the end of the world. Do you think that having that 6-point gap, knowing that as long as we don't lose, we're okay, do you think that potentially impacts you guys negatively, right? Like, yes, you want to win, but do you think the players potentially go into it with obviously we want to win, but depending on how the start of the game goes, they think, okay, maybe we're not going to take – I'm not going to take that chance because I don't want to potentially expose us because if we tie, it's okay. Do you think that potentially hurts you guys?
So I only don't because of it's all kids that are going to be playing and they have like that mindset that I want to play Benfica and beat them. Not all kids, but like Pedro Porro is going to go into that game with as much heart as he can have. And then all the kids that are playing are going to want to win. So I don't think it's like that mindset. It's still going to be to go in there and to get a result. It's not going to be if we lose, it's not the end of the world. I just feel like if we lose that game, it's not. I don't think it's going to affect us on the future game. Where if Benfica lose tomorrow, the next game, I just think you guys are fucked. You guys you're not going to go in there with like, oh, we're out of the league, it's done. Where Sporting lose tomorrow, the next game it's like just another day at the office. Yeah, we have to win it, but. It's not like I said, the end of the world. So I think they're going to go in there with as much heart as if we needed the 3 points.
And do you think that if Benfica wins, it kind of shoots us in the right direction in terms of momentum?
Yeah. So like I said, this game, I don't think it's a must win for you guys, but it's a can't lose. So even if you guys tie, well, the win obviously puts you in the right direction. If you guys tie, I don't think it hurts or helps, but it's not going to be that good because you're going to be like, oh, shit, we can't beat any of the top 4 teams in Portugal. I do think that a win is what you need to get you guys going in the right direction. A tie is not the end of the world, but if you guys lose, I think you're fucked.
Oscar, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I guess he spoke it all.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. If Benfica loses, I don't think there's a way back. But the thing is, like, you can't say if Benfica loses, we lose our confidence. We don't have confidence. We have.
Yeah, you won't gain any. That's a good point.
Yeah, we have a good game against Porto, and then the next game we fucking suck. So like to us, like I think we're up on that roller coaster. We're like up and down, up and down. That I think it's the same thing if we lose or win. I think the guys show up the next game and play. If they feel like playing good, they play good. It's not like what I'm scared of, like not scared about, but what I'm seeing in Sporting is when they have that bad few games, then that will show how Sporting really is. Benfica's already been through it this season. Up and down, lose a game here, lose a game there. There's 2 games in a row. They lost for it up and then lost for here for that. And guess what? The next game they play Porto like studs. I don't get it.
I mean, the only I guess comment I have for that is we did have we had the Marítimo loss and then the Rio Ave tie, but then we ended up beating Porto and Braga. So that kind of boosted us back up.
So want to put a bet on tomorrow's game?
I thought we already had a bet on tomorrow's game.
Did you have one already?
No, there's. What's the bet again?
Another dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, it's a bet already, guy.
You already said. I said first of all.
It's on my notes.
You want to talk about? So the bet was going to be double. Or he owes me a dinner already, right? Because tomorrow's
double,
February 1.
No, there's no double or nothing.
So, but it makes no sense. So you're either going to owe me 2, and I owe you.
You owe me 1.
Or you're going to owe me 1 anyway.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
It's either. Why you don't want to go to dinner, dude?
No, I mean you miss me that much. You want to go on 2 dates? It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, no, that's fine. We have another. A tie's a push, obviously.
The one I lost. we go in first. We go. That's because my dinner restaurant is going to be all depends on what you pick for yours.
Okay.
All right, we got 6 questions here. I got 6 for Paul, 6 for Oscar. So we'll just
I
go
suck
back and
at
forth.
trivia. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
All right.
We'll see.
Oh, he's conceding already. Oscar, you hear that?
I mean, I've heard you guys on the
Is,
trivia too. You're not that
is,
good.
is this a game like Sporting Benfica trivia or just
Yes, Sporting Benfica trivia. All right. Since Paul's our guest, he's going to go first, taking the first penalty here. Oscar, Paul, 1 through 6. What number do you want?
Let's start with 6. The amount of points Benfica's back.
Ooh, Oscar, you better come ready to play.
I'm next and say 3.
How many goals did Lietzen score against Benfica in the league?
Oh boy,
12, 10, 14, or 8 in the league?
I'm gonna go with 10.
Wrong. He scored 8 goals against Benfica and 14.
wait, I don't give a
appearances.
chance.
No, dude. Well, great. I'll ask you for your opinion, but you have questions on the other side. You got 6 of your own. I'll ask you next time your opinion too.
Lietzen scored 8. Lietzen
I
scored
didn't mean to,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Sorry. All right.
It'll be kind of embarrassing if I beat Paul in his own team.
All right. We'll see.
No, you have Benfica questions, don't you?
Paul,
No, but I'm gonna answer Sporting questions too.
Paul can give his opinion on the Benfica ones too. All right. Oscar, 1 through 6.
3. Tomorrow's points back from Sporting.
2004-2005 season, Benfica
Luizão.
won the league. Who crossed the ball to Luizão for that header? Was it A, Petit, B, Nuno Assis, C, Manuel Fernandes, or D, Simão?
2000. It was Nuno Assis.
It was the game that Ricardo came out.
Nuno
You say
Assis.
Nuno Assis? Paul, do you have an opinion?
I'm gonna just say Simão.
It came from the right.
You're both wrong. It came from the left, and it was Petit on a free kick. You both missed
Let's
the
spend
first
another
penalty.
game, Oscar.
Fact. Wait, that was Petite?
Yeah, it was a free kick. Paul, 1 through 5.
Let's go with 1.
1. 2011-2012 season. It was the only win for Sporting against JJ. 1-0 at home. Sporting beat Benfica. Who scored Sporting's only goal? Was it Ismailov, Capel, Van Wolfswinkel, or Matias Fernandes?
I'm gonna go with Capel.
Oscar, do you have an opinion?
I'm gonna say Matias Fernandes.
You're both wrong. Ricky
Shit,
Van
you
Wolfswinkel.
suck.
Good old Ricky. Ricky had 25 goals for Sporting.
It was a penalty. You guys beat us 1-0. It's his only defeat against Sporting. All right, so Paul's 0 for 2. Oscar's 0 for 1. Oscar, you got 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6?
Wait, I have. I'll do 1, 2. We're gonna finish the season.
Okay. 1999-2000 season. Benfica beat Sporting.
wasn't born yet.
0-1 away from home. Who scored the only goal? Nuno Gomes, Sabri, Kandorov, Poborski. Dude, you
I
really
know
don't
that.
know.
It's like 20 years ago. I don't remember.
Was it Sabli's free kick?
What's your answer? Tell me your answer.
Sabri.
Paul, do you have an opinion?
I don't remember the guys you said, so I'll go with B.
Sabri.
Sabri.
Woo!
Sabri is the one. Free kick.
Boys, free kick. See, I even knew that one, Paul.
All
Dude,
right,
if you guys know from 2000, I'm not gonna know. That's for damn sure. I drink too much Tito's to remember that stuff.
all right, Paul, you got 2, 3, 4, or 5?
Let's go with 2.
Who scored Sporting's goal? Oh, who scored Sporting's goal in their loss 2-1 last season against Benfica.
Ooh, I know that.
Last season?
Come on, dude. You don't remember that?
The last game, it was when Ruben Amorim was already there last year at the Estádio da Luz. Was it Bataglia, Jovan, Plata, or Sporad?
Was it Plata?
No, Sporad.
Oscar got it.
I'm telling you, I don't know.
Last year, dude. Come on, man. I know you can drink all the Tito's you want, but last year you should know.
I don't remember the game at all.
All right, so you got this one out of the way. Oscar, you got 2, 4, or 5.
I'll do 5.
Jorge Jesus' first win against Sporting as Benfica manager was 2-0 at home in the 09-10 season. Who scored both Benfica's goals? Was it Cardoso Aimar, Aimar Di Maria, Cardoso Di Maria, or Carlos Martins and David Luiz?
Aimar scored 1. Which one? Which was the other one with Aimar there? Aimar faked the goal and then had a tough angle.
So you got Cardoso Aimar, Aimar Di Maria, Cardoso Di Maria, or Carlos Martins, David Luiz?
Dude, I'm gonna go with my fucking Oscar Tacuara and Aimar, but it might be Di Maria. Fuck. Okay, Oscar Cardoso and Aimar.
Paul, you have an opinion?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the other two, Aimar and Di Maria.
Oscar got it.
Woo, baby! Is that the game that Aimar faked the goal and then it had a tough angle on the left foot?
Yeah. All right. Oscar's got 2. Paul's got none.
I got 3.
Well, you need these. You need these, Paul. You got.
I suck at trivia, so it's all good.
Let's see. We got 3, 4, or 5.
Let's go with 3.
3. When was the last time Sporting beat Benfica in the league? Was it 2014-15, 2015-16, 2016-17, or 2018-19?
I'm gonna say. What was the first one? 14-15?
Yep, 14-15, 15-16, 16-17, or 18-19.
I'm gonna say 15-16.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the game we were on Ludlow, I think.
That was Benfica at home. Benfica lost 3-0.
Yeah.
Gutierrez, Slimani, and Brian Ruiz scored.
They scored like in the first 30 minutes, right? 3 goals.
Yeah. All right, Paul's on the board.
Tomorrow. It's gonna be again tomorrow too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Oscar, you got. Let's see, you got 2, or 4.
I'll do 2.
Or 6. You got 6 too.
2.
2002-2003 season, Benfica won 2-0 at Alvalade. Goals from Zalvic and Tiago. One player was sent off with yellow cards in the 55th and the 63rd minute.
What the fuck?
Who was it? Tiago, Elder, Petit, or Argel?
Argel?
Paul, do you have an opinion?
I'm gonna say it was Petit.
Paul got it. Petit.
Argel would have been the most obvious.
That's why I put him in there, because I figured you'd take the bait.
Yeah, fuck.
All right, so we did that one. You got 4, Paul, or 5?
Let's go with 4. Keep it.
I was waiting for Oscar to say that's normally where you guys finish.
He's not quick enough.
Yeah, slow on the trigger today. Who was the last Sporting Clube Portugal manager to beat Benfica in the league? Was it Abel, Carlos Carvalhal, Jorge Jesus, or José Peseiro?
That's stupid.
Jorge Jesus.
That's stupid. We just answered that question like 2 seconds ago.
We didn't say the coach.
Yeah, we did.
What was the he was on the team that year, right?
Yeah.
So Jorge Jesus.
He didn't remember last year. You think he?
Yeah, but we just talked about the year that happened.
Paul, he's crying.
That's being fucking
Yeah,
helpful.
it's just another excuse, right?
I give up. This
It's another
is
excuse.
That's corruption. Aqui já anda o funel para trás para a frente. That's
Paul's
corruption.
got 2. Paul's got 2. Oscar's got 2. Oscar, you got 6. All right. How many goals has Benfica scored against Sporting at Alvalade for the league since 99-2000 season? 26, 27, 28, or 29?
Dude, you could have make it like 15, 20, 30. Like, why the fuck you go like next to each other?
It's a guess, dude.
27. Like I'm supposed to know this.
Paul, you have a guess?
I'm gonna say 28.
Oscar got it, 27. Benfica scored 27 goals at Alvalade since 99 and conceded 19.
So there's no chance. Can Paul still beat me?
Yeah, I can tie you.
Yeah. So you got 3. Paul's got 2. And Paul's remaining question is number 5.
Yeah.
Which is 2015-16 season. Sporting beat Benfica 2-1 after extra time. They tied 1-1 in regular time. Slimani scored in extra time. Who scored Sporting's first goal in that game? Was it A, Freddy Monteiro, Adrian Silva, Aquilani, or Gelson Martins?
I'm gonna say Adrian Silva.
Oscar?
It's probably Adrian Silva.
Yep, got it right. All right, so Paul has 3. Oscar, you can either take the lead or it's a tie.
I don't want this to be a tie. Tomorrow's can't be a tie, dude. It cannot be a tie. All right, what am my last one? Is 4, right?
Yeah, 4. 2007-2008.
4 this.
Benfica lost 5-3.
Ooh, I know this game.
In the Taça de Portugal game at Estádio de Alvalade. Nuno Gomes, Christian Rodriguez scored. Who scored the first goal for Benfica? Was it Di Maria, Nuno Gomes, Katsuranis, or Rui Costa?
Wait, say that one more time.
Benfica lost 5-3 in the Taça de Portugal to Sporting in the 2007-2008 season. Nuno Gomes and Christian Rodriguez scored the second and third goal of that game for Benfica. Who scored Benfica's first goal? Was it Di Maria, Nuno Gomes, Katsuranis, or Rui Costa?
Rui Costa. Final answer, and I'm the champion. I'm going home. Is it right?
Paul, do you have an opinion?
Fuck, please tell me.
I'm gonna say Di Maria.
It was Rui Costa.
Oh shit! I think I still remember that game.
I remember that game because it was I was in college when it happened.
Oscar was bouncing off of the comments.
Huh?
Comment gate. Did you see the comment?
I swear to my mom's life, I did not.
Sure,
I will not do that.
Sure.
Paul, Danny wants to know what's in the caneca.
It's wine. Vinho tinto e verde. Vinho branco e verde, just like Sporting.
Ooh, okay. Just a quick shout out to everyone in the chat. Sergio was in there early. Milton, Jonathan, my brother, Coach, A-Rod, Paul, Tomas, Josh, Johnny Almeida. There's a throwback there.
Yo, Johnny. Hey, Johnny.
Pedro, Christopher D'Souza. Who else we got? Dom was in there. Dave Pereira, Braga fan, Danny, Manny. Who else we got? Any other names here? PRLX in Lisbon. Igor, bringing in the Acosta comment. Yeah, couple new names. But thanks everyone in the chat. Dom says you have late in the Caneca. Is it warm? Is it warmed up? Any final thoughts? Tomorrow we'll be back after the game tomorrow evening, 8:15 for the podcast as usual, time-wise. After the game, hopefully it'll be a positive one with smiles for us guys on the red side, and hopefully Paul's got a couple of tears coming down his face, but we shall see.
Hey, look, I'm going to do a replay of what Paul's going to look like tomorrow. Hold on a second. Just hold on. Oh, it's still here. Watch.
We'll still be in first either way.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Rod. Hey, that's perfect. Hey, Rod. Well.
He's been doing it all season. I'll tell you one thing. One thing you guys can all smile about is that you don't support Chelsea FC because that team absolutely sucks.
I second that. Danny says 3-1. Will the brothers be on tomorrow? I expect them to be on tomorrow, but if not, we might have to call in some reinforcements.
It definitely depends on the result. If Benfica lose, they have something to do, guaranteed.
Milton saying
if Sporting loses, will you be on?
I don't know. There's a lot of snow coming. I might have to shovel.
Speaking of Milton, before we jump off, Paul, I don't know if you remember him, but he said he had a shot with you at a hotel in Cape Cod, 4th of July weekend. Do you remember him?
No.
I think I took a shot with this Paulo guy a few years back at a hotel in the Cape.
Hey, Paul was drinking Tito's then, dude. He doesn't remember shit.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It definitely could happen.
You have to click on this page. You'll remember him.
Yeah, well, we went to the Cape a few years back too.
With Kenny and Jay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when it was. Jay was there too. Tank.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense.
Danny said Paul was hammered for sure. No, so late. Any final thoughts you guys want to share? Get off your chest before we jump off.
Hey, in all honesty, I hope there's no casus. I hope it's a clean game. That way, there's no excuses of Benfica winning by controversy. So let's leave it at that. And 3-1 it is.
I look forward to sending you the Shupa messages tomorrow. So
my phone is gonna be. I'm gonna watch the game on my phone, so it's off. Okay, dude.
You can see them after.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Paul will be back with us tomorrow as well, 8:15, and we will catch you guys after the game. See you guys.
Peace out, guys.